Hey everyone, welcome to Mindset Talks Life Beyond the Checkboxes. I'm John Jermello, Leadership Performance Coach.
I am Prati Kaufman. I'm an entrepreneur and a marketing energy coach.
So, as your co host for this series, we want to have like these real everyday conversations. As I've mentioned before, as we've mentioned before, we're both coaches, but it's not really a coaching conversation. And in a coaching conversation, you kind of have to start with a checklist of questions to get to what it is you have to cover with your client and so on and so forth. This is beyond that list. This is like just we pick a topic, jump at it, no formula, just kind of see what kind of conversation we can have. And we're open to talking about anything, any kind of ideas or anything we come across, anything we may see in the contemporary world. Um, the one that we're going to cover today in this episode is the power of creativity. And based on our work, based on who we are, based on the curiosity, and I'm just going by Prati, my observation of the way that you and I seem to think in similar ways. Um, I love writing. You're writing more and more. You're a paid writer. You're a paid writer now. You're a
Yes.
paid writer. Um, and I've just realized how much creativity really has saved me during this pandemic. So that's really come up for me more and more. And these conversations that we have are not just for the people that listen, the people that watch, but I mean, I've realized how much I've grown from these conversations, picking a topic and just being open about it and what I think about it, learning. I've taken so much from what you've shared and incorporated that unknowingly just on cruise control. But a big piece of what has helped me a lot is creativity, whether it's musical, like I picked up playing bass during the pandemic, whether it's writing, I'm writing more and more. I just got accepted as a board member of a community editorial board at the CT Mirror. These podcasts, I mean, this is creativity. Like you're trying to create a message that's getting out there to people that you want to just share. Again, we say we don't have all the answers, but we love to start conversations. We love to think in different ways. So this is all creativity. Um, I was a member of the Connecticut chapter of the American Marketing Association. So I'm not, Prouty Kaufman caliber marketer, but I've learned in joining that because it was like, okay, start of the pandemic. I like marketing. Here's a board seat. I'll see what I can bring. I started hosting their online events. And that's what gave me the kind of bravery and confidence to start this, being on camera, right? Creativity. I mean, we don't think about what creativity really is in our everyday until I had to stop, step back, and think about it. Um, but it's really saved me because it's gotten this energy, this angst, this anxiety that I've always had. It's gotten all of that out of me. So I definitely want to pick your brain because I don't think I really asked you. I guess I'm a bad friend. Like, what is it that has driven you to marketing? What is it that has driven you? And the other thing that I wanted to mention was storytelling. So, being a host of that online series for the American Marketing Association, I was just curious about people and I wanted to learn about their backgrounds. We had marketing specialists on and everything like that. So, I'm curious, like what is your take on creativity? Again, paid writer, um, you love learning new things, yoga. Like I just maybe I'm broadening creativity so much, but I just see it play out in so much of who we are in our lives. But specifically as my friend, specifically as a marketer, what does creativity mean to you? I'm curious about your words and what it means for you.
Yeah. I mean, you think you're broad. I'm going to go really broad. Here's the thing. I personally think each of us, if we are living and breathing, we are creators. Whether we think we are creative or not, right?
Hmm.
You, every single one of us, and you know, this is like I'm making a really bold statement here, and I'm going to stand by it that every single one of us are creating constantly. Every single second, every single moment, even a fraction of the second, we are creators by nature. That's truly who we are. I used to confuse artistic
Hmm.
ability with creativity. I've come to realize I have no artistic bones in my body, and I'm okay with it, right? I can't paint, I don't play, I don't dance, like I have nothing of that. But creativity, if you talk about it, I really believe I am one of the most powerful creators because I truly believe in the creation which is within me, and I'm born for that. Like each of us is on this earth to be the creator, right? So I know creativity and creators are different, but you cannot be one or not the other.
Yeah, no, that makes absolute complete sense just because I've always thought about the big thing that I've seen in my work is that people aren't designing what they want to see. They're stopping themselves from designing what they want to see. And it's not that they don't have the capability. A lot of people that I've worked with, it's kind of like these are the ideas that I have. This is what I want to do, but I don't know. I don't know if people will accept it. I have a boss that won't listen to it, or whatever it may be, whether it's in the workplace or outside of the workplace. You're right. I mean, I mentioned examples of maybe physical creativity, like playing bass or writing or really creating something that you can see or hear, but there is a lot to be said about what you can create in your life. I try to create moments. I try to, make my friends laugh. I try to make my friends comfortable. I try to learn about my friends. So for me, that's one that I didn't even list, but you reminded me of is creating moments. I mean, that's huge. I think that's one of the biggest ones that I've come across in the last Jesus, 2 years of the pandemic is just we're limited on what we can do. So what we can do, what is within our control, let's make it as worth as much as possible. Let's make it as valuable as possible, whether it's family moments, friend moments that you may have, but designing again, your word, you're being intentional about what you're doing and what you're putting into life.
Exactly. I think writing, like for me, I love writing. Everything is in the words, right? I'm not a picture person, I'm a word person. And that's just an expression of creativity for me. This is how I express my thoughts, who I am, what I share a part of me with people. That's what creativity is, right? I love to hike. It's not a creativity, but my creative ideas come from that, like,
Mhm.
oh, what am I going to write next? Or, oh, I got a really amazing this marketing campaign idea just by being. So I do understand. So even though we are creating, if you're not deliberate about creating, then things will be created for you. And you are not. So I think creativity is really the expression of what is it you want to create. And I think for that, you definitely need space, space to just be like empty space within you and outside of you. But if you're always busy doing, I feel like you're not able to express the creator in you fully.
You just brought up so many different points. Uh, but you're right. You need the space. You need to step away. You and I have just brought up to each other off camera that we've stepped away from Facebook,
Yeah.
and that has helped my creativity. And that's something that we'll get into in a different episode. But that's one of those examples, right? Making space for yourself. And the other one that you brought up was like not intention, but the expression. People are just not good at expressing themselves. And that's a very broad statement, but they don't see that maybe they have a place to. They don't know what they're supposed to express. Meanwhile, there's no supposed to. Um, but I think, like you said, when we talk about creativity and expression, they may think, oh, it can only be artistic expression, something that somebody can see, something that somebody can feel, something that somebody can hear. But meanwhile, they're 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 holding back on what they can create for themselves. Um, so it's just unfortunate that so many people are capable of so much, but they're just not aware of it. They're just not aware of what they can unlock. Um, and it's amazing what you learn from people, what they can unlock by just asking them questions. They're not hearing the right questions. You're not telling them what they should express, but you're asking them questions about themselves. And again, that's another rabbit hole. It's like I don't think we ask each other enough about each other so that we can get in that mindset to express what we're all about.
Exactly. I mean, one of my philosophy or motto in life, I even tell my son or everybody who work, question everything you think till you cannot question it anymore. And that's when you really kind of that's a whole thing of how do you know what you're thinking is yours. So I always say question everything you're thinking. Like don't be this person and then make a decision, but you need to question. But that's another thing. I think we are not good at questioning ourselves. We tend to fall into the comfort zone. But just the whole this thing about creativity, to me, you have to create space. yoga for me creates a space for creativity, right? To expression of the creativity, not so much that I'm not a creator. The expression is more deliberate, more thought out. When I am doing a workout, like right before a meeting, I really did an intense 30-minute workout. I was like dying, okay? But that created this emptiness in my head because I couldn't think of anything else during that time. And then I
Yeah.
kind of go into the thinking mode, right? Sometimes all I need is that. I've been saying this, I use workouts to create emptiness in my mind. That's why I do very challenging workout. The only reason I do that is because I just don't want to think during the time.
Yeah. I can relate to that because in the past, whenever I've had like anxiety or just overthinking something, and you go to the gym and you get your heart pumping and the adrenaline going and the endorphins going. When you leave the gym, it's almost like you can't remember, like it can't touch you. Whatever was fogging up your brain, it's like a clean slate. Um, so
Yeah.
yeah, I don't think people are used to saying, okay, if I'm not doing anything, if I'm stepping back, if I'm giving myself space, they may feel like, oh, that means I'm not doing anything. That means I'm not creating anything. That means I'm not saying anything. That means I'm not sharing anything. I don't think people are comfortable with really stepping back and working on what they're working on. You know what I mean? We're just so used to being like, hamsters on the hamster wheel that we don't step back and really think about how to design what it is we want to see.
Exactly, and that's why that they're not tapping into the power of their own creativity, the power of being the creator and everything. Recently I went to a 5-day silent retreat. Everybody was going nuts. How are you going to stay silent? I mean, there was no phone, no talking, nothing, right? For 5 days of absolutely not a single word. Okay, there was a 30-minute we could talk to our guidance counselor, but that was it. But 5 days of absolutely not a single word for except for the 30 minutes, and that was a choice. You didn't have to talk if you don't want to. I'm telling you, there's so many decisions with just everything, I needed to do, whatever the ideas came flooding. I was writing nonstop. I think I must have filled a whole journal. Everything I was going, right? So it's really important to create if you truly want to tap into the power of creativity. Create space just to be. And then again, it is just what has to happen in your life.
Yeah, and that reminds me of like um this idea that's always around. You see articles about it, about like the loneliness of like the solo entrepreneur, right? That you have an idea, maybe no one else sees it, but you have to kind of go off on your own and see if you can make it happen, and that it is lonely. And that's just one of those things. We're not built for. We're just built. We feel like we're no, but I mean we are tribal. But to step away to work on yourself, to leave others behind, it doesn't come as natural to most people as it does to some of us. Um, and that's like you said, that's where it happens because you get a better sense of who you are. And just to dip into that tangent that we spoke about, I've realized with social media, staying off social media has helped me because it's not about FOMO, fear of missing out, or look at this person, what they're doing with their life. Like I'm not doing. It's none of that. It's just the time that you're sitting there scrolling through other people's lives is times and moments that you could be creating something in your own life. So I mean, I've tried to stay away from that, and I've done a pretty good job. And since that time, it's kind of enhanced my alone time, my focus time, my creativity. So there's something absolutely to be said about stepping away for silence. We're not built like that, and it sounds counterintuitive. Like, how do I get better at creating for people if I step away? Like when you go internal, that's when you get your best work.
I mean, that is mean in extreme, but literally, again, because I do have a team and I keep training their mindset a lot, right? Rather than just the soft skills are needed, decision making and all that. I have made it mandatory for everybody to meditate for 5 minutes every day, right? Like you gotta just breathe. You can't meditate, keep your eyes open, keep the phone, put a like can just 5 minutes can you just be without doing. So it does, again, I always keep saying nothing has to be big. Okay, one person came back from my team saying, I can't even do 5 minutes. We literally reduce it to 1 minute. Like, can we just consistently get to 1 minute full? Like now she's at 2 minutes at the moment. It's been 2 weeks, she's gone into 2 minutes, but she can't
It's
do five
something.
minutes
It's
but
something.
it's again consistent, action to create whatever you need. And that is what I say is the power of creativity, being deliberate with that power. Don't allow, again, things to just be, just happen to you, right? Let the things happen for you.
That's a good point. Very good point. So what would you going one step beyond that, how would you get people to think about maybe once they've stepped away, once they've made that choice, okay, I'm not going to let things just happen. How would you have them kind of explore themselves to get to that creativity? Like, what kind
That's
of advice would you give them?
I would I would start with you first for that, because you have been you are both artist and creator, right? You have both power going on at the same time. So what do you do to bring that out in you?
What do you like to do? You know what I mean? It's such a simple question, but asking somebody or asking yourself, what do I like to do? What makes me happy? And the way that I've put it to people when this kind of conversation comes up is, what do you want? What would make you happy that you would do it and not tell anybody about it? Because the happiness is yours.
Yeah.
You didn't do something happy and have to post it on social media to share with others. Like, what is it you're selfish about? What is it that only makes that starts with you, but it really fires you up? That it's not based on a reaction from somebody. The reactions are a bonus. You know, we want everybody to love our writing, love our music. Of course. But it has to start with you. So what is it that fires you up? What's a hobby, or what's a book, or what's an industry, or what's a whatever it may be? What is it that makes you happy, and how often are you tapping into that? Because a lot of people will have things that make them happy, but it's surprising how many people keep it to themselves, or they don't have an outlet in the world that they're or the different circles that they're in to express that. So it always starts with what makes you happy, what makes you tick. Have you found it, or are are you still looking for it? So it's a lot of self exploration to figure out what makes you tick, and a lot of people really don't. They either don't know, or they know and they feel like they don't have any permission to express it.
Yeah. These are all great points. Yeah.
So,
Yeah. For me, I think I'd like to keep things simple. Just do one thing for the sheer joy of it every single day. So, like, I have my brother who loves to cook. Oh my God, when he's into cooking, he can get lost. So, he loves to make evening tea for everybody. It takes him 30 minutes, but he really enjoys the process. My husband, it's the same thing, right? What is it you love to do? My son, he can get lost in the book. You can throw things at him, he cannot notice. He cannot hear you, he cannot do it, right? There's a sheer joy of doing it.
yeah,
Like, I love hiking. Like, I go out and just there's something about it which is just sheer joy. I if I could do it, I would do it every single day, right? So how do I create more and more space to be outdoors and doing things? So I think we all have that one thing which we just want to do for the sheer joy of it, nothing else, because we just
hmm
love it. And it actually helps us relax. So it could be playing Sudoku. I don't know. It could be playing, whatever, right? I think that's something, as an individual, you have to decide or explore different things which just you absolutely love, and just do that every single day. That's it.
yeah. And there's just something about going away, doing something, and when you come back, you're a different person.
Yeah.
You go, maybe I'll play bass, maybe I'll do some writing, maybe I'll read a great book. Even reading is creative because
Of
it
course.
gets your mind thinking in different ways, different perspectives. And anytime I've gone away and really been focused on what I'm doing, photography, I used to be diehard into photography. It was almost therapeutic
Oh, wow.
being there in the landscape, taking pictures of whatever it may be, because it was an amazing thing in that I could enjoy it. It was just, well, to start, it was for me. I enjoyed what I was creating, but then I could also share it with my wife and I could share it with others.
Yeah.
But there's just something about getting lost in something that's just for you. Like you said, the sheer joy. And then when you come back to your community, your network, your circle, your family, your workplace, creating whatever that was, even creating that sensation of sheer joy, when you come back, you're just a different person and you're more yourself, I believe. I just
Yes.
think it frees you to let out more of who you are.
Yeah. 100%. So that's it, Again, simple step, one simple step, right? Just find something you love, even if it's a reading. Make sure you're reading for 5 minutes every day. Again, it doesn't have to be anything big, small things. Just decide it and go for
Yeah,
it.
absolutely. So thank you everyone for watching. Subscribe if you're listening, subscribe if you're watching. We're open to covering any kind of topics at all. So we're open to having guests on to talk about topics we've covered or bring new ideas to the table. In the meantime, yeah, keep thinking about these conversations, how they may apply to your life, where you may disagree with us, but as long as it gets that spark thinking about that particular topic in your life and what you're living, how you're working, how you're doing business, I think we're both happy with that. So in the meantime, until the next episode, take care. We'll talk to you soon. Bye.
Yes. Bye.